All right, it should be good now. If not, I'm going to get Craig in here anyways to record the audio.
I do hear you. Yeah, I just heard you say it should be good now.
Okay, fantastic. We are live streaming. Good stuff. Opening remarks for anybody who's watching the live stream. How are we doing? This is the Voiager committee meeting. We've got a standing agenda here, and we'll kind of be adding things as we go, making some different updates too, and it should be a good meeting overall. Unfortunately, I missed the builders meeting this morning, so I don't have any any cool updates for it. I kind of was working late and slept through it a little bit, but we are here now and we are live, and we've got some folks up here. Feel free to join as well. Just raise your hand in Discord if you want to pop up and have a conversation, join the conversation, add anything to the agenda. There's a link to the live stream as well as a link to the agenda right in the comment section. So feel free to get in there and we'll kind of kick things off. We'll start with the communications and announcements, and we can kind of add some things as we go. Some of this stuff is kind of a repeat of last week. Haruf, do we have any updates on the Aramid Bridge? Are we live or are we still in beta?
I know that they're talking about it today, and it seems like they're attempting to put in a fix for it. I just don't know exactly when that's going to be.
Okay, fantastic. That's good news. It sounds like, from what I understand, Ludo is back in the building, and he was... Oh, let's get Shelly up here. Yep, invite to speak, good to go. He's back in the building and just ready to rock and roll from my understanding. Shelly, how's it going, man? How was the builders meeting for anybody who wasn't able to attend? You able to give a little update on that?
Yeah, builders meeting, just like, the usual going over overall progress and feedback on what's called like the embedded wallet and what that's going to look like. So a little, there was some feedback about making that a little bit more secure, requiring like more than just username, password combination, but just feedback there. It's kind of an ongoing project, but it's used in the House of Void, and also if anyone's ever used it, it's iBuyVoid. And then we had Ludo. He showed us something he's working on. So like an aggregator of dexes, and he has like an explorer. And one thing that he was missing was how to decode, how to follow like the swap activity on Boy, for example, right, Humble. So I'm going to be providing him with a little bit more information. So the thing he's working on will also include voice swap activity. Had an exchange with him about what's needed for the particularly ammo and corn. So like at the moment we have it set up to where like about 10% of the supply of ammo and corn can be bridged out of Void, and that ratio will just be like adjusted over time as needed. It works just to arbitrary percentage. anyone that didn't weren't in the builders meeting, they missed out on like the preview of what the thing looks like. But that was basically it. Lots of updates for just like development across the board, and big alpha for House of Void.
Big alpha. Big alpha, yeah?
Yeah, and then I talked about how our audit process is proceeding for DarkFi, so far so good, no bumps, and just going through the motions. I was up late last night working with the auditing team.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for
everything
staying up late doing all that fun stuff. I know they're on India time, so it's totally different. Opposite side of the world, so much appreciated.
Yeah, either at like 6 to 8 in the morning, or like 9 to 12 midnight, so.
Pick your poison, right?
Whenever people ask you if you have time, it's like, yeah, I got time. It's like, just do it now. Like that, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, do it now.
Come on, what are you waiting for? Get to the chopper, right? That's my best Arnold impression. I know somebody watching live is probably like kicking themselves, like, what the hell? But yeah, no, I think that's thanks for the little rundown of the builders meeting. It is really early in the morning for us West Coast folks, so I was up late last night tinkering with really working on some of the DorkFi landing page and front end. That was another update that we can share out with folks. Is Haruf and I have been working with some different community members, getting their feedback on what we've got so far, and I think we're getting really, really close to having the landing page and the front end ready to be connected to the back end. And I know some of the folks that are in the community have taken a look at it, given some good feedback. Nuss, I appreciate your feedback, and likewise to anybody else who's provided feedback too that might be watching in the YouTube live stream. Feel free, if you feel like you want to take a look at it before we connect everything up. Feel free to reach out to me in DMs or whatever, and I can kind of send you some links, kind of go through just a little bit of a feedback loop, because at the end of the day, we're trying to, build an application and a platform that our end users absolutely love. And what that requires is us to kind of listen to what your guys' feedback is. So please feel free to reach out, and I'd be happy to show you some previews of some stuff, and we can get your ideas and thoughts and see if we can implement some of that stuff too. So what else is on the communications and announcements? I know Taco had mentioned last week that Zarmian was going to be on his space last night. I also missed that space, but I know just by kind of lurking around and wishing I was in the space while I was doing other things, unfortunately, I did see Zarmian was in there and talking, so I don't know if anybody was there. I know he's in and may not be able to talk right now, but if there were any big updates that were kind of announced about iBuyVoid.com or anything else that Zarmian's been working on, would love to kind of hear a little rundown of that. If there he is.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk a little bit about it, and I'll if you're hosting tonight, I'm free tonight too, so I'll join and
Sweet.
talk and just chat and shoot the shit. But
I know it is Ice Age tonight, actually.
oh, is that what that is?
Yep. And then
I
Thursday, it's Haruf and I co-host, and yeah. So, but yeah, tonight
forgot what day of the week it was.
definitely.
Yeah, so I'll join Ice Ages tonight if he's hosting.
Sweet.
And then, you know, Bye Bye Voy is coming along. I have an update that I need to get out within the next couple of days because House of Voy will be dependent on it, and that just kind of changes how there's just now a more I would say streamlined approach than it even was. So it's like a trying to abstract as much of what the Web3 language and the Web3 blockchain sort of like concepts from it, so that it's more of just like a checkout. You are buying Voy in this case, or if an app is giving you a way to like deposit funds, you're depositing funds into that application. You're not swapping and bridging and all of that stuff. So the new update is utilizing more of Coinbase's platform. So there's like an escrow account that has to be used, and right now I created in the browser, which is okay, but it like if you reset your browser, like if you clear the cache, you lose access to that temporary wallet. In theory, it should never have anything in it, but if there were an error or something like that, and then you reset the browser, you could lose that key forever, and it would be a problem. So this makes it recoverable. It attaches it to like your email address or your phone number, and then you just get a code. You put in like your email address, you get the code, and you type that in, and now you have a wallet. And every time you do that on iBuyVoy, it'll produce the same. This is a wallet on Base, so it'll create that wallet on Base, which is used as like the escrow. And as far as the user is concerned, they don't deal with that, or doesn't really explain too much about that because it makes it more confusing. But
that's super interesting.
A fairly major upgrade for like reliability and stuff like that, and hardening it to make it a little more and for using that for Haruf's benefit, make it a little more reliable long term
and user friendly too. I feel like it's what we've been talking about this whole time is like, hey, how do we abstract away some of the complexities of all of the functions that happen behind the scenes and just make that point of sale easier and that point of purchase easier? I think that's like such a huge step in the right direction overall.
Yeah, and that's a major part of what I would say Chris talked a little bit about it this morning with House of Voy. Like the whole idea is that a user goes to the page, they don't need a wallet, they don't need anything. They can click a button to add funds and add them with a debit card, and within a minute or whatever it takes to do the bridge, those tokens are in their account, like they're there and accessible, and they can use them. And that's the important aspect of it, is abstracting all of that complexity so that our applications on Voy have a user experience where users can just start using them. They don't need to worry about bridging. They don't need to worry about centralized exchanges and dexes and all of that.
That's huge. And I know I saw it's kind of random, but I saw Loaf Pickle tweeted the other day about, hey, could the Web3 experience, be changed significantly if you just change the verbiage on the application from like connect wallet to log in. And I think there is something to that, especially if you don't actually have to set up a wallet, and there's like the embedded wallet thing that I know Kieran's been working on, plus this iBuyVoy kind of point of sale abstraction tool. And then like people don't even have to go through the rigmarole or the whole process of setting up, writing down your seed phrase, trying to remember where you put the seed phrase whenever you lose it, that type of thing. I know that that's like the most secure way to do stuff, and like when you have more experience in the space, like that is the way you should be doing things. But at the end of the day, like in order for us to grow and scale at the rate that we want to, for each of the applications that are being built, and then just like blockchain in general and Voy in general, we're going to have those types of tools that totally abstract everything away. So I'm excited to see it and potentially implement that same type of functionality in Dorkify as well.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Like the idea, like when you think about it from like Dorkify, the idea would be that a user, doesn't even need to know what a wallet is or what a blockchain is or what I think that the 25 words are the worst part of the user experience, across the board, because you have this idea that a user downloads a wallet or adds the extension or whatever, and people can do that. People can install software, but then immediately they're hit with find a piece of paper and write this down, and the thing they want to do is take a screenshot of it, which is the worst possible thing, because you're always looking for the shortcut in the immediate moment. And so really the better experience is to get them into the ecosystem, then give them a reason to write it down. Get them situated, get people involved, and then be like, okay, now next step, download or take the export of this in-browser wallet that you're using, and take that. That's going to be, that's important to back up. You want to have a backup of it so that you could potentially, restore it or whatever if you needed to. In Kieran's case, what he's doing is even better, because it's really just it's taking out the 25 words entirely and turning it into an email and password. So you go, and it's kind of like creating an account, except you're creating it for yourself. You're not creating it on a back-end system. You're not having to provide all your information. You're just setting an email address and password, and that becomes your key. And then that becomes easily restorable in the future, because you just go back and if your browser gets cleared out, you go back to the page and you put in your email and password again, and it just creates the exact same account. It restores the exact same account. So
it's huge. It's removing barriers to entry, or just kind of moving them, moving the barrier over to the side to let people in, and then giving them an option.
Out of the way.
Yeah.
But we still have these really advanced tools or advanced options that we can use, like being able to use a ledger and being able to use those kinds of things are important too. And so there's a balance. And then the other big thing with this is just user experience in signing, because if you have to sign every time, if you have to have a Kinesis pop up and sign it every single time you want to put in a transaction, every time you want to spin the reel, or anytime you want to take an action or a state change in a game or whatever it might be, it's just a bad user experience. And so this enables all these transactions to happen in very quick succession, and then using a limited amount that's at risk, essentially, that's in the browser, and it has keys that aren't secured by your Kinesis wallet or your ledger or whatever it might be, and then that I think creates a much more seamless user experience.
I have to say,
apps can do a lot more
during the bear. After the MyAlgo hack, I had freaked out a little bit and was running every transaction through a ledger device for about 6 months. And oh my God, was that the worst fucking experience I've ever had. like 6 months of running every single transaction, having to get my device out whenever I needed to do anything. And then, especially if there are times when I'm like trying to, make a trade or, arb something, you just aren't ever going to be fast enough to execute. And so I don't know. I feel like you have to just remove those complexities away if you're going to be successful in the long run anyway. So other question too, I know like you've been working on Vera and doing a bunch of, stuff there, and two questions, I guess. Is there going to be a name change? And then the second question is of course the taco question. When Apple Store, and could there be a PWA of it?
Yeah, so I talked a little bit on Taco Space about that as well. I'm currently toying with an idea, and so one of the problems I have is maintaining both, an Android and an iOS application that are native applications is it ends up being a lot to maintain. So I don't want to try to maintain two totally separate applications on two separate platforms with their own code bases, indefinitely. So I've been toying with a couple of ideas. One is to, and it could be one strategy may be to just go with all of the ideas or with a combination. But the one thing I want to do, and I keep kind of going back to, is I really would like to do something different from this whole conversation highlights that. Like, I want to do something different from a traditional wallet. So what I'd really like is to have a Voi app, right? That like you download the Voi app, you install that from the iOS App Store or from Google Play Store, and then that becomes your sort of entry into the ecosystem. So keeping with the same theme of trying to abstract away the blockchain aspect of it, like, yes, you can install the Voi app and you can access the private keys and all that stuff, but I want it to be more of like, this is more of like this is what you use to interact with the applications that already exist in the ecosystem, not or to sign remotely, for those more important things, but not. And I'm trying to figure out how to make that, that the right user experience. But then also to combine it into one code base and use something else other than doing like native Kotlin and native Swift or the two applications, and just have a single code base and a deployment pipeline. And if I can make all of that stuff really straightforward or automated, then I can continue to iterate on an application that would solve the problem of being a wallet. So that involves like the idea with the name changes that there would be, it would just be Voi or Voi app or Voi whatever, and its purpose would be to work with Voi, but it might also work with other networks other than Voi network, the same way an application like like iBuyVoi is working with Base network and Algorand. So I think that there's something that could be, there's a direction that we could go with that I think might be interesting, but I haven't totally fleshed out the idea. So that's why it's fairly non-specific. And then the other thing is to see if we could just do something more simple with Para and submit a PR that a pull request for them to merge into the existing Para wallet that just makes it so that you can sign transactions on Voi, and see if we can do that in a way that provides a consistent user experience that they that they find acceptable, and that would allow us to not have to maintain a separate application, or to be like stuck in a spot where we're copying their application, you know.
And do we know where they stand on things? Because I know they're like really tight with they're totally funded by the Algorand Foundation, and I know the Algorand Foundation doesn't care for us too much from at least my perspective. So I don't know, like, do we think that if we made enough noise, do we think that, we could galvanize enough troops to push them to make it happen?
My understanding, or at least my belief, is like they don't want to put the effort in, like they don't want to dedicate the resources to building out the functionality themselves, but that they would be open to incorporating it if we build the functionality for them and just gave it to them to merge in. But if it's, the more complicated it is, the more problematic it would be. Like adding another network selector and making it very clear that like this is Envoy, and not doing things like adding in ARC200s and stuff like that starts to make things more complicated. I think would be I'm hoping they would accept something like that. It won't be the ideal user experience for users Envoy, because you want access to your ARC200 tokens directly and things like that. But we have dApps that allow you to manage those things anyway. So it's not like end of the world. Really, at the end of the day, what the wallet, the first thing the wallet needs to do is sign transactions, and then everything else is kind of, sugarcoating on top. But that's my hope, I guess, is that they would, if we made something very simple, it didn't require a ton of code review and a ton of resources, that they would be open to merging it. Supposedly the official line is that they're willing to.
I mean, that's pretty sweet. I know that they had pushed some recent update, maybe it was yesterday, and I know Bogan was making some noise about, integrating or giving support for Voya assets. So it's good to see the community, galvanizing around that idea too. And I think if we made more noise, it would be, probably more impactful for them making a decision whenever we were able to kind of serve up an easy way for them to support it.
Yep, I agree.
Sweet. Any other updates or anything else that you're kind of working on? I know we're going to be catching up here in about a week from tomorrow in real life. That's going to be fun, man. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that'll be great. No, I don't really have anything else that I'm aware of or that I can think of off the top of my head. But I think we should call out Chris, who's just joined in the audience, and see if he wants to give
get him up here. A House of
Voya
Voya
Alpha.
Yeah, a House of Voya update or Voya Alpha for sure. While we're waiting on him to come up too, we can bug Shelly to go vote on Scotty's proposal. Shelly, go vote on Scotty's proposal.
Was that in the agenda?
It's not in the agenda right now, but just because it's a council thing. But it's in the council chat. The
council voting chat.
Yeah.
I'll look into that. Thanks for the nudge.
Because I think it's just Zarmian and I are the only ones that have voted on it so far, and it's looking good for Scotty.
I was gonna joke on you signing, doing everything manually with the ledger. After the My Algo had, it's like, yeah, you were signing your transactions manually, like that Vitalik meme.
Yes.
What he does with by hand.
Oh my God. It was absolutely probably the worst user experience I've ever had. And I did it to myself for about 6 months. And then I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore.
I still do it. It's terrible.
I remember the people in the Algorillas Discord who were trying to do that to like receive like Rilla rewards or something. It was just like unbelievable. Like you have to sign like 100 times for pennies, you know?
Yeah, less than pennies, like worthlessness.
I think, isn't that what kind of like broke the whole shuffling concept and destroyed all of that on Algorand, because you had to sign like all these extra transactions to obfuscate what token you would get? Because you had to like opt in to like 40 different tokens and then opt out of them, and it was just like a
Oh my God,
like
absolute
all individual signing.
mess, and yeah, terrible user experience, and that's why I'm so excited about what you're working on, and obviously what Kieran's working on too. That stuff is really cool. Chris is waiting so nicely for his turn to speak. He's not taking the spaces route and just interrupting and talking over anybody. So, Chris, what's up, man? Glad to see your face.
How's it going?
Can you tell or check out YouTube Void community videos? We're live streaming. You're live on YouTube at the moment.
Awesome. Well, hello everybody watching us live. You got OBS all set up?
Yep, it's all set up. It's just on my my home PC. I'm gonna have to get it going on my laptop for when I'm on the road next week. But yeah, it'll be good.
Nice. That's cool. Update with House of Voya. I strongly recommend, if people really like Alpha, wake up early and go to the builder meeting, because that's the one we really release it all. The crazy also stuff, which you were not there, Bagman. You're missing good.
I know.
Good Alpha.
I worked a little too late last night and just absolutely slept through it. Forgot to set the alarm, and been getting some word of mouth about it from Shelly and Zarmian here, but would love to hear more about House of Void.
Yeah, things are going really well. We got out finally a demo yesterday, completely broken demo, not completely, mostly broken demo. But the whole idea is get it out so we can iterate, and that's what we've been doing the last couple of days, is iterating. I got to a point where today I have now tweaked the odds of winning, so that people will actually win now, or well, didn't really win that much, but now they will. Not when I say now, when Shelly gets around to adding the new logic to the contract, and we made some changes to the house side as well. And then all that's really left is tweaking the interface, because right now the queuing system, because when you are doing everything on chain, you are a slave to the chain, and it's not the fastest thing in the world. So we built a way to queue, so you can just like spin as much as you want and see all of the plays queued up, and you can just wait and see if you won or not, and then click back and replay how it happened. But overall, it's I'm really excited about it. Yeah. Do you have any specific questions?
How are you doing on the fundraise?
Fundraising is fun. I got a lot of people that said they are interested in investing. That's the first step. The second step is to actually get them to give us money. But I had a good conversation with one investor that I sent over the term sheet, and he requested a little bit different terms, which weren't out of this world. So busy actually thinking through and doing that. And overall, fundraising I say is fun, but I'm being very sarcastic with it. It's never fun. But it's a necessity to.
It's so
to
much fun.
take
It's
care
so
of.
much fun, isn't it? I feel like because we're doing our fundraising right now for Dorkfi, and I feel lucky to have the opportunity to be able to go fundraise. You know, it's not something that I feel like I'm like waking up and I'm like, oh man, I gotta go do this thing. It's more like, oh, I am blessed that I have an opportunity to go fundraise right now, and I really couldn't do it without my team. So, mad props to Haruf and Shelly and being able to get us to a point where we can go do some fundraising, because otherwise you're selling vaporware, you know.
Oh yeah, it's part of it is that it's really difficult to get a fund like without a demo, without something that you can show and be like, hey, no, we're not full of shit. So good news is that House of Boy is literally, we're knocking on the door of it. Tonight I have a dinner that is full of investors, so hopefully we can have the demo ready for that so I can just show people on my phone me losing money or hopefully winning money would be really cool. Maybe we tweak the odds so it looks like I win a lot more, so it's more exciting when I show it with people.
Selling vaporware, I see.
Not vaporware.
I know,
A more exciting product.
I'm just messing with you. No, I know how it goes. You know, selling software for a long time prior to doing all this, and you kind of have to have a demo environment that looks and feels good, and you know, you can preset it to have whatever outcome that you want, and rather than doing a live demo and having the demo break on you or act in a way that you're not expecting, that always makes things so much more difficult to sell. So I get it.
Yeah. I mean, the cool thing is that you know, with these tweaks, I'll actually be able to win. I have, on the current settings, I have never won anything. It's a big change.
Well, that's fun. Cool. Well, yeah, running through the agenda still. Thanks for hopping up here, giving us a little bit of House of Voy update. The Dorkfy incentives passed as well. I know that was voted on yesterday, and big thank you to the Voy Council, all the community members that provided feedback. What's coming along with that too is our pre-fi. So some more information about that will be coming in the near future. But essentially, it's where you can earn incentives for early deposits prior to us going live. So yeah, that's all coming here as well, and I'm sure Haruf can make some jokes about you know, pre-fi is coming, so that's always fun. Kind of next thing too, we've got a reemergence of conversations about the governance platform. I know Shanti's got a meeting scheduled for Friday, and it's mostly, I think the folks that have been invited so far, mostly just council members, and then plus I think Scotty too. But I think that we should also have some other active community members that have previously gone through the submitting proposals process involved as well. So if anybody else wants to join that, feel free to let us know, and I can send you a link to. I'm looking at Taco down there. You know, Ice Age, Nuss, if you're around, Maza, Zardos, anybody who's in the audience right now. I think it's worth, you know, just coming and having some eyes on it, or if not, I think the meeting will probably be recorded and they can view it later potentially too. Cool. Any other like big announcements that I've missed before we jump into some of the Farnsworth conversation?
I just want to give a quick thank you to Zardoz for creating documentation on
Bye Bye Voy. I haven't actually gotten to look at it yet, but I'm really excited about that and appreciate it.
Oh, that's fabulous. And also, Shelly, I know you've been catching up on some Biddle stuff too, so maybe that's something we can talk about as well.
Yeah, all caught up. I had cleared the backlogs and felt really really generous after spending 4 hours doing that on Sunday. But yeah, I don't. There are a lot of new items in the open section. And like what I've been doing since then is whenever I go through like me or someone else goes through the motions of like doing having something be completed or a newly created build task is it's always like relayed through that Twitter account. So just moving forward, if it exists, it's been talked about on Twitter by the Biddle coin. So just if anyone wants to follow that, just follow the Biddle Boy account on Twitter.
Sweet. Yeah, I think that's an opportunity for any builders out there. I think there's also some, non-technical Biddle bounties that are available for folks to go kind of check out and earn some Biddle for. Yeah, it's definitely underutilized at this stage, and I think that there's a ton of opportunity for people to step up and participate and build and step up and join the Biddle.
Yeah, I mean, like if people have ideas and they want to work on something, you could bring it up with some the few people that are on there can like agree about it. I think in the future it'll be a little bit more interactive and it might take into account like the new like governance developments just for like activating a proposed thing. But yeah, we're back on track and there's been some activity of people jumping in and saying like they'll go and do it and it's just first come first serve. You get more back the faster you get it done, but we'll go through and do the due diligence, right, and make sure it works. And even for people that are like, even if you're not doing the work, I think it's a good idea just to have someone look over it, right, and and even making that a task, so it's end to end, but still just people, there's a lot of moving parts. I think right now it's me, Wagner, and Wilder have this like ability to change the board and like create new tasks. So I would just reach out to any of those people.
Yeah, and I know that as we're pushing things out for Dorkfi 2, there'll be some kind of Dorkfi Biddle incentives as well. So more to come on that. Definitely excited. But yeah, if you got a project too and you want to reward some folks, and I know that the Taco's got a $500 bounty out on the coin pusher tool as well. I don't know if anybody's picked that one up yet, but there are other ways to, if you've got USDC that you want to pledge or whatever, we can get that up there too.
Yeah, there's it's not like $500 and like the biddle or biddle it's like $500.
Cash money, cash money.
But just I think it's a lot to process right now, like just because of how deep it is. But if you like if you just monitor what's coming out and like you'll know be a lot easier. Right now it's pretty deep. It's like maybe 100, and I think there's about like just 2 million void worth of stuff sitting around. So, but it's sitting there. But it really matters that everything in the end is quality, and it's you can just do the work right the first time. And yeah, if anyone is interested in that, good luck. And it's open for anybody.
Sweet. Awesome. Let's chat for, I know we've taken up a lot of time. But yeah, Farnsworth, you got anything for us from your agenda items from last week, embracing some type of separation from Algorand, preserving what AVM is best at? I don't know if you've had other thoughts or conversations since last week, but we'll kind of open things up on that, and then want to remind folks that we need some community feedback on a few proposals that are outstanding.
Yeah, thanks. I have a white paper that I'll be putting out as soon as I finish like proofreading and tweaking it. And it is on essentially my idea that I've been talking about for updating the AVM itself and providing like a future roadmap for the AVM. I've been through some of the details in previous meetings, and we could kind of talk about that if you guys like, but since we're kind of running short on time, I guess I'll just leave it to questions if you guys want to hear about anything specific. But I do have a full white paper that I'm going to put out on that vision, and it would essentially be a consensus and execution client kind of model, trying to move the AVM to a WASM base instead of currently being in teal and PyTeal. This is to open up the access to a lot more developers that could come and build on the chain in languages that they're comfortable on, and also just expand the capabilities of what the chain can do in general. As Bagman said, the point is to preserve what Algorand is good at, finality, security, decentralization, throughput efficiency and all that. But there's things that it's not so good at. It's not a great developer environment. Coding in Teal and PyTeal, even though they're working on Python, Algorand is still not really a great developer experience, in my opinion, and the opinion of many others, but I won't put words in other developers' mouths. So the big thing here that I'm really talking about that is different is kind of that implementation of the second layer, the engine, the application layer, whatever you want to call it, the consensus layer. And I think that we could do that through Beam because of its actor model. And on top of what the AVM already provides, which we would be preserving, that layer would give us concurrency, asynchronous message passing, fault tolerance, and massively increased scalability. Also, interestingly, hot code swapping. You can update the runtime without any downtime, really. You can just live swap the code, fix bugs, do changes and all that in a continuous environment. You don't have to stop the code. So that's something unique that not a lot of systems can do. The white paper goes into details about how this would be built and all that, but it would be a large project, one that Voy in and of itself could not fund, and maybe wouldn't even want to fund. You know, that would be up to the community. But even if they like this idea, so you know, right now I'm just putting out the white paper. I don't want to make any promises that I can't keep. And as both Chris and Bagman were just talking about, funding's not easy. It's a hurdle every time, and this would take quite a bit of funding to build. Now, I do think that it is a genuine, you might call it a paradigm shift. It would actually, if we built this, enable a whole new class of dApps that would be possible to build, a whole new way that we can interact, mostly by giving the ability to do far more, I guess, computationally complex tasks that are usually kind of prohibitive in most of the blockchains as they exist. This would enable things like dynamic NFTs, you know, real world responsive digital assets. NFTs that can monitor events both on and off chain and actually react to those events and change on as soon as they happen autonomously without interaction from, you know, the user, who typically right now, if you had an NFT and it had some kind of upgrade plan for it, you know, you got to burn it, mint a new one, do all these things. This could be automated. This could happen just by triggers and events completely monitored by the chain itself. Niche market reactivity, you know, it's kind of the same thing. The key here is actually the oracles. This is kind of really one of the big things that this would that this model would allow, is how oracles run right now. They're pretty centralized, they're expensive to run, but with this actor model that the Beam enables, you know, these oracles could be kind of micro oracles. It would allow a user to run an oracle for far more niche data and in far smaller processes that would allow you to track all sorts of things that there aren't really oracles for right now. And not just that, but also be able for the chain to kind of verify these things deterministically, because that's one of the hardest things about tracking data and using off-chain data, is that at some point you have to arrive at a consensus for the chain to record it. And the actor model within, or the oracle model within Beam actors that is in itself a deterministic environment, would allow off-chain listeners data retrieval and, you know, verification and signing and stuff, that will really give people the ability to make new types of dApps that you can't really do right now. So I do think that the idea is there. There is actually a real use case here, new use cases that this would enable, but, you know, getting funding, convincing other people of that, it's a pretty tall lift. So, you know, I'm going to start with putting out this white paper. We'll see what people think of it, and you know, kind of have to take it from there. I can't necessarily promise right now, just off of what I have going on in my own life, that I can, you know, dedicate to that whole lift myself. And so, you know, a big part of writing this and all that was a push for president or dictator, as you prefer it. And I am interested in those things. I do think that the chain needs cohesive leadership, which has been, in my opinion, absent lately. And I still haven't heard really any plans about the chain itself. You know, even I am glad to hear about the governance talks, but again, that's not really to do with the AVM or its development at all. But I do hear a lot of grumbling about the way the AVM is going, and Algorand's kind of failures on that side. So I think that a plan for the chain is essential. So yeah,
Sweet. Thank you for the update. We'll be looking forward to seeing what's in that white paper, and I think there's it makes sense to me to try to make development easier and developer more, like, allow for any type of developer to come and join and build and do things, and not just be in one specific language or two languages. But obviously that's a big heavy lift, so it'll be interesting to see what direction the community wants to go, and the rest of everyone. And looks like Taco's trying to get up here, so let me get him up here. Taco, invite has been sent. You should be up here now.
Before you shut her down, I want to know who's in charge of posting these on YouTube.
Oh, I've got it live right now. We're live streaming.
Okay. So is that on the Voy Network channel, or is that some different YouTube channel?
It's the Voy Community Videos channel. I don't have access to the Voy
Network. You want to put
network.
a tweet out about that? Because I know Bogan and I were looking for the stream for the council meeting yesterday.
And that one I think is I don't know where that one, or if that one's live.
Let's get them all in one place. If you could get access to the Voy.network YouTube channel, that'd be super, because there hasn't been any uploads on there in the last year. And it seems like it was getting some good traction, got over 385 followers. So, let's consolidate all those in one spot if possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then just be consistent about uploading them. Or if they're live, then you don't have to upload, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Uploads on.
Yeah, I think at this stage it's just like getting them to give me the permission to go live on that platform, and also like I can't do every single week all the time, so we're gonna have to find some backup situation.
Farnsworth, it'd be really cool if you would start to help like Bagman take over this meeting, sometimes, because you have the experience to do it as well. All it is like it's an agenda, and the agenda gets updated. So, what do you think, man? Like, you'd be a really good candidate to kind of start here, and this is the community. Like, you'd be in charge of, you could potentially be like the community chair. So like you would have control over a little bit of the direction of the community. You could seize some power, at least a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not after power for power's sake. I really need a goal, but I am prepared to live stream.
Says the dictator.
I do have permissions to live stream, and I looked this morning, saw Bagman already had the live stream scheduled, so we were good on that front. But I have OBS set up as well. I can live stream whenever Bagman is unavailable to do it, and
just start a DM Bagman with Farnsworth if you guys don't have one already, and just kind of talk with each other and come up with a plan to like share duty with this, and then you'd be fine. I mean, maybe even give each other your cell phone numbers.
We're covered. We're good. Shelly, what's up, man? I see you're off.
I just don't want
off
the load
mute.
all on you, because I know you're busy as shit too.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Hey, do you guys have time for a commercial?
Yeah, commercial break. Let's do it. We're
not a commercial break, but just me talking about a proposal. There's a proposal by Official Startup in the proposal forum, and I think I posted about it. Do read it and provide some feedback. I think so far it's just me, and want to want to gauge the sentiment around it. So please read it and provide some feedback.
Sweet. Yeah, I think this is a great time for that too. We're almost running out of time, but I know I was tinkering around with getting the live stream going at the beginning so we can go over a few minutes anyway. But yeah, proposals that need more community feedback. This is all for you guys. We need some DexGo ecosystem services grant feedback. I won't say too much more about that other than they've already had 2 proposals get non-passing votes, and they've kind of submitted the same more of the same for a third time. And so yeah, I don't know, it's still going to be a no for me. They haven't made any significant changes that would make it a yes. So anyways, the Thorpe one, so that's the Voy Friends Voy Network partnership proposal. I don't know a whole lot about it yet. I haven't read through it, so thank you, Shelley, for kicking me in the pants to go do so. I'm gonna make sure I provide some comments just after this meeting. There's the gag gifting proposal. I know that is the one about setting up a integration with Roblox, which I think we already actually have. And I believe the proposer was banned from the Voy network Discord channel. Not exactly sure why they were banned, but it might be something to take into consideration when providing feedback. They have been in my DMs about I was hosting the basement last Thursday and had reached out to him to come and speak because I know he was actually posting at the exact same time that we were live, and he basically was like, yeah, I was banned and don't really want to come on to the space. And then he just reached out again this morning, or maybe it was late last night, asking about other times to come and talk about his project. So I'm going to share with him, Ice Age's space. I don't know if Ice Age has posted that yet or scheduled it out yet, but if you have Ice Age and you're listening right now, feel free to share the link in DMs or tweet it out and tag me in the tweet or whatever, and I'll get it to that poster. But once again, I think we actually already have what they're proposing. I'm pretty sure DragMZ pushed something out like last week without any proposal. So anyways, and then of course the Voy Hackathon, that's been something that's been going on for quite some time now. And I read through the proposal again, what had been resubmitted by by Fury. I think that it is very, very open-ended and might need some more community feedback on how we're going to administer the funds and do all the fun stuff there. So please go provide some feedback to that hackathon. We're looking at a November go live. We would probably need to get this thing passed within the next council meeting or 2, but I think there's still a little bit of work that needs to get done on that before it gets passed. So we're well over time at this point. Was there anything else anybody wanted to chat about on this call? We'll give another couple minutes and then call it quits for this one.
Yeah, I just want to say I rambled a bit, but the white paper will be out. I'm not sure where I'm going to post it, but I'll talk to some of you guys about the best place to put that up so everyone can read it.
Sweet. That sounds good. Anybody else? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Oh, I guess I will. Realm's proposal, there were some updates to it, and then we had some conversation on Monday with core community members. Many of you guys were in that space that Herv was hosting, and I think the consensus amongst the community was that we're on board for a character, a fighter, but we want to wait to fund until the game is live. So I'll be reaching back out to David there to kind of let him know that that's what most of the folks are. That's the direction that we're headed in with this, and we're pretty close to when they said they're going to go live anyways. I think, it'll probably be about another month, and it would take, some time to get the funding going anyway. So why not just make sure that the game is live and before we go ahead and go down the path of building out a fighter. Awesome. Any other last things before I let us all go? No? Okay, cool. Appreciate you all for joining, and especially the folks up here that have. Okay, Taco, you left. I'll get you back up here. Hang on one second. Once again,
Sorry, just really quick.
Yeah.
Tonight, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific time. Ice Age or 7 p.m. Pacific time. Ice Age is going to be hosting his space tonight, so make sure if you're available, you can be there. It's super great.
Sounds great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and awesome. We'll close out this meeting, but once again, thanks for joining. Thanks for coming up and speaking to all the folks that were up here providing updates. Really appreciate it. This meeting wouldn't be the Voiager committee meeting without you guys. So, please feel free to share it next week as well. All right. We'll catch y'all later. Have a good one. Thanks.